Hello.
Hi.
Hola.
Greetings and salutations back. I am talking into the mic. I'm also very loud.
You're also named Mike. So.
Welcome to the Animation Fascination, a celebration of a Goofy movie and voice acting panel.
Woo!
Thank you for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause for that one.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here without you.
How about a square? A square of applause?
So, how's everyone doing? Goofy movie, eh?
Yeah. We do have a couple special videos from a few special people.
Well,
too.
introduce
Yeah,
yourselves
no,
first.
I'm just saying, once we introduce ourselves, those people will introduce themselves.
Tell us who you are and what you're
So,
about.
I'm Mark Vibert. Me and Stanford down there at the end started Animation Fascination, 2011? Been a few different co-hosts with it, but Stanford's been on the longest with me. And then our guests are Ted Sowards. Ted's got his own. I mean, I'm familiar with people named Ted, as you can see. And then we got Adam Malloy over here.
Woo!
Yeah. And Bonnie Marie Williams, the voiceover superhero.
I'm just a homeless guy who walked in for AC. So
Yeah. And this is Mike.
they can't get me out of here.
Mike is on mic. But
I'm
yeah,
just going to moderate. And
there we go.
Using my branding. I appreciated that.
That was
Yeah.
nice.
And then Ted will have our other people introduce themselves.
Yeah, we got 2 guest videos, so we're going to watch those now.
Got myself in motion. One, I know that you'll understand. We set the world in motion by reaching out for each other's hand.
What is happening, Animation Fascination fans? Jason Marsden here, voiced Max Goof in a Goofy movie. Yep. And here I'm just yucking in my backyard, wishing I could be there with you guys. What's up, Ted? How you doing? Am I looking in the right direction, Ted? Hey, Ted, how you doing? Haven't seen you since we did that live action Possum Park. You gonna show it for everybody?
We are.
Tell them where to see it. It'll be great. Mark, how's it going? We've been friends for a long time, but we've never met, and we're never going to. Guys, we love that you love a Goofy movie so much. Thanks for coming to this panel. Hope you learned something new. Hope you have a yucking good time. And yeah, make sure you stand out above the crowd, even if you got to shout it out loud.
But wait, there's more.
And we have one more guest video to show.
But he's going to dance first.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bill Farmer, and you probably know me as the voice behind this guy. Gosh, your old pal Goofy. Well, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that I'm here in Barcelona, Spain, with the Mediterranean behind my back, waiting for the Disney cruise ship to take me around the Mediterranean on kind of a work and pleasure cruise. I'm looking forward to it. But the bad news is I can't join you at the Animation Fascination podcast there at the Phoenix Fan Fest. I wish I could be there live to answer your questions, but, work calls when it calls. And I got to do that first. But I know we're talking about a Goofy movie, and it's an amazing movie. I did that in 1995 is when it came out. It actually started as a Goof Troop movie earlier than that from our series Goof Troop. And it started out as kind of a takeoff of the television series, but it got bigger and bigger, became a father-son movie, and just kind of morphed into the movie that we all know and love today. Of all the things that I ever get to talk about in Comic-Cons across the country, the number one question always concerns a Goofy movie. It's that important, and it has grown in stature over the last nearly 30 years. So I wish I could be with you, but gosh, when duty calls, you gotta go do it. So I'm going down to the Mediterranean and get wet, and you guys enjoy the movie and the podcast. All right, we'll see you real soon. Oh!
Just let that play.
They're both sorry they couldn't be here today. So, but they send their videos and their loves towards you guys. They're amazing people to meet if you ever have a chance. We're trying to get them to actually come to Phoenix Comic Con. We've been trying for a few years.
Yeah. Jason, he said he was supposed to be here, and yeah, there's some, I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jason is a really good dude. He's, like you said, I've been friends with him a long time, and we keep passing like in the night and not meeting in person. And then Bill Farmer was on the show like 12 years ago, but also I remember when he was on it that first time too, like, and he did the laugh that I like started laughing myself because I was geeking out from hearing him do it, and I couldn't like collect myself. So our friend Matt, who was on it with me at the time, he had to like start doing the interview because I was still like, I was like, all right, I need to get over this. But
Overcome.
yeah, but this guy has done a lot of stuff with them in person that he can probably relate some stuff to as well.
Well, my claim to fame with a Goofy movie is I've made 2 live-action recreations of a Goofy movie. We took 2 songs, made them shot for shot, costume for costume, movement for movement. And the first one, After Today, like it went viral on the internet, and we were pretty happy. And we were at D23, and this lady came up to my brother and was like, because we were wearing like After Today shirts, and she's just like, what's your shirt about? And my brother starts explaining it, and she's like, come with me. And she just like grabs him and is like dragging him through the D23 Comic Con. And he's like, so where are we going? And she's like, my husband is Goofy. And like my brother like immediately calls me up and is like, get down here now. And like, yeah, meeting Bill Farmer and his lovely wife, Jen. She, if you ever have a chance, I actually enjoy Jen a lot more than Bill. She's just, we got to hang out with them at like an after party, and I was like finding myself hanging out with Jen Farmer a lot more than actual Goofy. She's a wonderful person. But yeah, so, and we were like, well, we wanted you to be in After Today, and he was like, I would have done it, and that's my best Goofy impersonation. And so years later, we were like, let's make another one now. And we watched the movie, and I was getting into CG animation and stuff, and I was watching the Lester's Possum Park segment, and I'm like, we could do this. And my brother was like, and Bill and Jason will be in it. And they did. They flew to Arizona. We filmed them in like some warehouse against like 400 green screens, and we made a live-action Lester's Possum Park. And we have it ready if you want to show, if you guys want to see it. Okay.
Hope you enjoy it.
Oh, we have the volume down.
And subscribe, right? Subscribe, make sure you hit the like button. You can do it.
It's even better than I remembered.
Tell you what,
Oh, and the
I'm just gonna
director's in
wait
it, too.
right here in the car.
You party pooper. Come on, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, howdy there, folks.
That's Kevin Lima right there.
Lester
That's the
is
director of a
proud
Goofy
to
movie.
present the Possum Posse Jamboree. Here it is.
Just in time.
Howdy, folks. Who's your favorite possum?
Got us a seat right up front.
Let me introduce you to the posse. Here's Buford, Beulah, and Mordecai.
Hey, Lester, ready for yodeling?
Sure am, Buford.
Now gather around, my possum pals. Join the jamboree. Come hoot and howl and holler from the heart. And every chance
This is pathetic.
by yelping out a yodel here at Lester's Possum.
That's my cousin's daughter.
It's yodeling time.
The guy in the lower right was like my old high school principal.
Don't you wanna be hanging from a a tree. We're mighty glad to see you, and the parking's always free. Here at Lester's
That should have won an Oscar.
It's amazing how much they still, like, everywhere they go, after with all the things they've done, like, Jason has done so much more than a Goofy movie. And he says everywhere he goes, everyone brings up a Goofy movie. Okay, Mark is almost there. I had one more quick story with Lester's at least. So, like, Jason Marsden comes in and went into our studio, which was just like my brother's work that we just kind of took over on a Saturday. He comes in, and Jason Marsden, and he's pleasant, but then, like, with each take, he's just grumpy. And he's just angry, like, he's just not getting happy. And I'm sitting there, like, in between each take, like, all right, I've got to liven the mood. I've got to do something. He's not enjoying this. And, like, in between each take, I'm like, okay, let's try it again. And then as soon as we were like, okay, we got all the scenes we want, Jason goes, well, that was a lot of fun. And we were like, oh, because, like, I'm not in Hollywood. I'm just a guy from, Phoenix, like, just doing YouTube videos. I'm like, oh, he was method acting the whole time. And, like, we took them to pizza at Illuminati's, and he was very pleasant. He was like, yeah, it was a great experience, and everything. I was like, and I told him, I was like, okay, you had me the whole time. I thought you were not enjoying it at all. And, both great people. I kind of feel like, but yeah. I have another story from it. We had, my family are not really coffee drinkers at all, and it never really crosses our mind. And the first thing Bill Farmer says when he walks in, he's like, it's great to be here. Now, where's the coffee? And we all stood there like, oh, yes, let's do that. And my sister-in-law, like, immediately was like, I'm on it. She, like, went in the back, got on YouTube, and was like, how to make coffee. My brother's work had a coffee machine, and she did her best. And then later, when he's drinking it, we were all curious, like, so was the coffee good? And we asked him, and he was like, I've never had any coffee I didn't like. And we thought, you're just being nice. Like,
Yeah.
But they were great. Are we having problems with the stream? I feel like I've taken over this now.
I was going to say, give your voice actor friends coffee. We all drink it, and we drink a lot of it. Most of us do. So if you're ever in doubt, offer them some coffee. They have it at all the studios. We're not technically supposed to drink it, but we all do. So when in doubt, give your voice actor friends coffee. Be like, hey, do you want coffee? And all of our eyes will go, yes, even if it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We always want coffee, even Goofy.
We will have it forevermore now.
Wonderful.
It is amazing how their personalities change. I don't know. So,
Oh, that's scary.
Would you say for like Adam and like Bonnie and like Stanford, like share like if they want to share like their stories, like how they came to like a Goofy movie?
Yeah.
You go first. You're the guy. You do your thing.
Yeah.
You go.
I came from it, like, I didn't become a huge fan of it really until kind of later in life. I watched it when I was a kid, but, yeah, I know. But I have a musical theater background, and so I really gained this whole, like, respect for these old movie, like, cartoon musicals. Like,
Old?
It's about 30 years old.
Yeah, I'm 36. Don't call me old.
But yeah, I really, when I was a kid, I was one of those guys that I would watch the Disney movies and skip the songs. And then the songs became my career. And then I was like,
gonna say,
oh,
the
I get
exit's
this
right
now.
there.
And then I realized, I'm like,
Closer one's right
that's
there.
back when they actually cast separate people to do the singing voices like they did with Max in a Goofy movie. And I was like, oh, that should have been my job. So now I'm getting back into that and hoping that makes a resurgence. But so I kind of came around to it later, but now coming at it from like a musical standpoint, I was like, oh, this is great. Like full on production numbers. And it's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn?
Please.
when I was little and I grew up, I always thought that celebrities did voiceovers. Like you would look at the behind the scenes featurettes and it was Robin Williams in the voice and, doing a voice in Aladdin and it was all this stuff. I didn't think it was like a real people job. So I just watched all the movies like from a kid really enjoying films perspective. I didn't think that it was a job. Like I didn't know that voiceovers everywhere. I just didn't think about it until I did a voiceover job, and I was like, that's cool. I'm going to go be on TV. See you guys later. And then I ended up doing voiceover full time from some weird convoluted things, because you never know where life is going to take you sometimes in your career pursuits. But I come from a theater background, and actually one of my college theater professors was in Fred Willard's comedy group, and she used to do songs with Bill Farmer. And she told me that, and like I must have been 20 years old, and she's like, oh yeah, I sing with Goofy all the time. And I went, what? Like, you just so casual about it. She's like, oh yeah, me and Bill, we go way back. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what's happening? And I didn't even think about voiceover as a career at the time. But yeah, I didn't watch it when I was little going like, that's what I wanna do. So I really enjoy it now. Like I think when I watch that movie, I feel like I'm a kid watching it. And as you get older, I think when you're little, at least for me, you watch it from Max's perspective and you're like, oh, Goofy's just not letting him enjoy things. And like, he's being so mean. And then you get older, like maybe after 30, and you go, oh, no, I see this from a totally different perspective. I see it from the grown-up perspective. And now it makes me cry. It didn't make me cry back then. And now, like, fully adult, I watch it and I just start, like, crying, and I cover my mouth so nobody can hear me crying.
Yeah, it gets better with age. The older you get, like, you see something else.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's also it's the Ariel in a Little Mermaid thing where you get older and she's but Daddy, I love him.
He's a human. You're a mermaid.
It's like you're a child. Like you are 16 years old. Let's take a step back, breathe. It's gonna be fine.
You're like, King Triton, he was not that mean. He was protective, and for good reason. She didn't know him, but anyways, that's a different movie.
Yeah.
Different movie for a different
That's
day.
a different movie. That's a different panel. Maybe next year, bring us back to talk about the Little Mermaid.
Mermaid panel. Outstanding.
I think it's your turn.
Is it my
Fred.
turn?
It's your turn.
Excellent. How many of you got to see a Goofy movie in the theater back in 1995? Okay, so there's a
Probably.
few of us. That was my
I don't
first.
recall.
That was my first time seeing it. Was in the movie theater, and I thought it was cool. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't until I can't remember what. I've been to a few of those D23 conventions. And I think it might have been the 20th anniversary of a Goofy movie. And it was amazing to see how many Disney fans love that movie. That panel was absolutely packed.
Yeah.
And I don't know, was that the same one you were at, or is that okay?
Probably.
Yeah, it was packed. I think there were there's over 2,000 people in here.
Yeah. It was amazing. And so anyway, I feel like I've got more of an appreciation of it now. Again, having more of a grown-up perspective, and then also just knowing how much it means to people,
Yeah.
how much it means to the fans. So yeah.
Yeah, like with that movie too, like Bill said, it started off as like a Goof Troop movie, and then kind of morphed into what it was. So, because Max is voiced by a different voice actor on Goof Troop than Jason Marsden. So, and then Disney Afternoon was huge then as well too, and even the film wasn't produced by. It's not like a Walt Disney Animation Studios movie. It's Disney Toon Studios, which is now actually no longer a thing. Disney Toon also made the Planes movies that you may know, or the CG Tinkerbell movies more recently too. So a Goofy movie is definitely the best
doing them no
Disney
justice,
Toon
Mark.
movie. But just a lot of the Disney movies from the 90s, or the ones that were maybe not as much of a critical success now, have kind of had this resurgence, maybe from nostalgia, or just the people that were younger when it came out, now getting older and bringing that back to it. But Hocus Pocus, also with Jason, or a Goofy movie, just how they've grown more and more popular over the past 30 years.
Yeah.
For Hocus Pocus, that didn't help that it came out in July for a Halloween movie.
I know, wasn't that weird? Wow.
But they also had A Nightmare Before Christmas coming out around Halloween, so they would have either competed against themselves or had to release a Halloween movie in July. But those are also different movies. But you said that you talked about what you did with them, but like, what was your first experience with the actual movie?
My first experience with the actual movie, I remember being in the theater. I remember sitting like on the left-hand side of my dad. Like I remember watching it and being just like blown away. It wasn't about a mermaid in the ocean. It wasn't about a boy in the Arabian desert. It was about a kid walking to school. And I related a lot to that one. Like I remember it was even we got out and the sun was down. It was night. I remember it pretty well. I never knew that years later I'd actually like meet the cast of it. That was pretty special.
Nice. You have some stuff.
I have nothing.
I thought you were going to ask us some stuff.
No, I was going to ask, because Goofy's got such a unique voice, right?
Yeah.
He stands out. You can, eyes
Above
closed,
crowd.
you'll hear it. Since we have two professional voice actors, I would like to know the process of, if you have a voice like that unique, calling it up on command.
Oh, yeah.
What does that go like? What is that like for you guys? Not like you. I don't want to hear your specific ones. Just
Yeah, no.
if you have something like
Not
that.
for free.
I mean, it's like especially if it's something that it's not something I've done a lot of. It's definitely you have to play it back for yourself because, it's like you've had like clients be like, hey, we need you to do this, and it's like 3 years later, you're like, what did I do? So that's really it for me, at least. It's like, oh, I just have to listen back and just kind of like find that whatever the hook was to get back into it.
Yeah, it's knowing why you're doing the voice, because you can do funny voices all day long, but if you don't have a reason for doing it, it's just a voice, it's not voice acting. So if you can give yourself a hook to get into it, like you just said, it's a really good way of getting back, but it takes practice too. It's just like anything else, because then you can just do it on a dime, and it's just makes it easier that way. I know for some of my boy voices, I have a hook that I can do it, and I'll be in with a client. I'm like, hang on, I just got to get the boy out. Okay, here he is. And then we do it, and then it's fine. They know they're hiring me, and I'm a woman. But, like, if I'm in a commercial and I'm playing, a boy and his mom, and I have to switch back and forth between the two, that's a little harder because you can't always give yourself that lead in. So that's when having just the practice and being able to do it over and over again really comes in handy. And now it's no problem at all. So that's pretty cool, but it's the practice, and especially keep stuff on file. If you're going to be a voice actor, keep your audio on file and have backups, because you will get that person from years later will go, hey, do you remember that one like oyster voice that you did for this cartoon? Do you remember that? And you're like, no. Like, then sometimes they're wonderful and they send it to you, and you're like, oh, thank you, because I didn't want to go digging for this. But if they don't have it, go back into your files and look like, what was it called? When did I do it? And that right there is great. We have technology. We can use it for good. Yeah, exactly. We have to. 100%, right there with you. Yeah, Bill is great. Bill actually does voiceover animation demos for people out in LA. He does them with, I think, Brock Powell. They do them together, but he knows, obviously, Bill knows animation voiceover, and now is helping other voice actors like myself and other people to create their voiceover animation demos, which is really cool. I haven't done one with him yet, but it is on my list.
Seriously.
Do you actually voice someone in a Goofy movie, or?
No, I wish I did. I would have been about 7 years old at the time. It would have been cool to be that little girl at Lester's Possum Park. That's my dream right there.
We need a follow-up movie with that character.
Yeah, and she's all grown up and trying to figure out the world. That would be amazing.
It's the
A
legacy
very extremely goofy movie.
Say that again.
I said a very extremely goofy movie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember who had brought it up, but like how sometimes, like your relationship with the movie changes too. Like at like a certain age, you could be watching it and you identify with Max, and then you watch it much later and you identify. Did you say that, Bonnie? Or
Probably, yeah.
Someone said it down this way, but that then when you get older, you more identify with Goofy in it, or like you were saying with. You're like, oh, just let Max do what he wants, and you're like there's a lot of surprisingly emotional stuff in that movie too. Especially there's the scene with like Goofy and Max, like when they're on the floating car on the river, and he's like, they're talking about. I I can't recall the exact line, but he was like, I'm grown up now. I have my own life. And then Goofy's like, I know. I just want to be a part of it. And I remember I didn't actually expect that to do anything.
Okay, man.
Explain.
Right there with you.
Let's get some
That's why the
context.
movie's timeless.
Yeah, just I think I was watching it with my son, and like I didn't expect to get emotional watching that scene, and I actually didn't expect to get emotional bringing it up. But yeah, like I don't think I got emotional watching that scene when I was a kid, but like watching it as an adult and as a dad, and I was like,
Yeah, as a dad.
just let Goofy hang out with you. He doesn't want to like be like up in your stuff, but like just All right, I'm gonna pass it to somebody.
Let's give Mark a
Yeah,
round of
sorry.
applause for that.
Maybe hear their stories with the Goofy movie.
Yeah. Jeez.
Let's go about what's your favorite parts of the Goofy movie? What's one of your favorite moments?
You guys.
Go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you shout it out. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Cheese.
Oh, the Leaning Tower of
Cheese.
Cheese.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm still searching for that pizza today.
Where is that pizza?
There's-
I've wanted it for 20-something, 25, 30 years.
There is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many good
There was
moments.
another hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me, Stacy.
How many times do I quote that with you?
You and then you. Oh yeah.
And like, I think Hollywood today, a lot of characters are written like perfectly, like from beginning to end, and characters like Max that changes the map is more so relatable, and then they do have a growth. Like I feel.
Yeah.
And there were.
Yeah, comments back here then.
I'm a huge Stephen Campbell fan.
I'm not you.
So obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you talk about how you watch it differently as a kid and I think even in both of those roles, like once that dance happens, you kind of come together. You watch it the same way from then on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if go ahead.
A little separately from just the Bigfoot scene generally, like talking about things that hit different as a dad, like the conversation about high dad students.
Oh yeah.
Like that was just a thing that I watched when I was a teenager, and I watched the movie again like a couple months ago, and I'm like,
Just chopping onions around here.
Yeah.
True.
I first saw it on the Disney Channel. I was my I saw it on the kid on the Disney Channel.
Nice.
I was just loved the opening song and the Smash Bear. I'm in
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you're.
There's Cindy over there.
I love the Powerline concert that these two random dudes just dropped in the middle and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Powerline's the ultimate like improv like pro like yes and he's like yeah cool let's do this. It's great.
Nice. Oh yeah.
And the world tour.
We can go see it in LA.
And
Just over here.
I like the beginning where Goofy's packing up the car. How he got so
Oh yeah.
little car, and he's trying to get Max to go with him, and Max is like, I guess so, you're going all alone. I guess I'll go out
All alone.
Not very quite so. Look at me like, I guess so.
lady back there.
Yep. The parent guilt? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think it was in that video, but like Jason's over that part of it, like in the thing. But yeah, that part made me laugh when I was putting that together. Go ahead.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
A little controversial.
That's
Do we need to
that's
close
the
this
next
wall?
panel. That's after this.
Oh yeah, X Games.
Yeah, we got kind
My 15-year-old daughter was watching it with a 10-year-old son. And the moment of music background, terrific timing in every single, what I refer to as cell, but every single moment of video as the fishing line went down, caught the father, brought it back up, and the awesome amount of built-in awe when he said, the perfect cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we talking about the music and it, like, I mean, the Tevin Campbell Powerline songs, for lack of a better term, stand out. But like, what are each of everyone's like actual favorite songs or like musical sequences from the movie? You can start from Stanford and come back.
Well, I gotta say, I like all the musical sequences in the movie, but.
Oh
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what's the specific name of that?
On the Open Road.
Open Road, which that was terrific. I think I like the power line, just because I like Tevin Campbell.
And Mickey and
Shout
Goofy.
out to Tevin Campbell.
Mickey and Goofy have a little cameo in that On the Open Road scene too.
That's right.
Or not Goofy's in the scene. Donald, yeah.
Donald makes it. Yeah. Donald.
Yeah, Donald and Mickey.
I also like all of the songs on the soundtrack. I don't think there's one I skip past when I hear it. The score is incredible. It's like, how do you pick one? Like, when they're singing, they're all bangers, right? Like, people are still saying that, right? Am I old? I don't know. People still say that, right? Please, somebody, Gen Z, help me. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I didn't want to think I
Casey
wasn't
Jones
cool for a few
in
minutes
the back
there.
has a question.
Oh, that's Casey Jones back there. What's up?
Do you agree?
We got to be louder.
Great line.
Yeah, like the I Want song.
Yeah. I never thought about it that way. I think, 100%.
Yeah, like like Max's song, like the Today After Day, is like basically his I Want song.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's like musical theater time. That's
You got your
I think
degree, use it.
Yeah, I think that's why that really drew me in, because like especially that song. It's the quintessential I Want song. Disney is so good at that, especially like a lot of the Alan Menken scores. Like Out There from Hunchback. Like it's so this is like this great I Want song that fits perfectly with the style. It's just this kind of poppy upbeat. So usually I Want song is the probably like usually the second song in a Broadway show where the protagonist talks about what they want, what they hope to accomplish. Like in Wicked, it's The Wizard and I. It's that type of song. So it's just so you get to know the protagonist. And so it's this perfect ensemble number, plus you get to hear where Max is coming from, and then you've got Aaron Lohr doing Max's singing voice, which is great because it's also a pretty good voice match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's something that if you didn't know, you wouldn't really notice, because that's what they did back then. They're like, oh, we've got Brad Kane doing Aladdin's singing voice, So yeah, that's probably my favorite.
With the Aaron Lohr thing, Jason Marsden didn't know that he wasn't going to be singing it. And then he was like, when are we recording the songs? And they're like, oh, we did already. But if you go and watch the 20th anniversary of it, they give him a chance to sing it with Bill Farmer live, and he does an amazing job at it. Like Disney didn't know he could sing. Yeah.
It pays to ask.
I think because I also think Jason Marsden, he did some singing for High School Musical. I think he did, he like doubled some of Zac Efron's stuff. So like at that point he had been singing, and they realized he could sing. It just took them like 10 years to get there.
Yeah,
Fun fact, I didn't know that.
if people follow Jason Marsden online, he does this is like he runs like a variety show thing that he lives in Tennessee. I was going to say exactly, or just in case people
An
didn't
undisclosed
yeah.
location.
But yeah, like he runs like a variety
it
show thing that he
redacted.
does with like that's all like based around music, and like he does some of it, but then he does it like highlighting local people to Nashville. So if you're a fan of Jason Marsden in general, just follow him and his stuff online. It's cool to check out like just a lot of the. Plus, he's just a big geek too. Like anybody that is going to be here or would like all of us. So he's just fun to follow online in general.
Honestly, most of the time, most voice actors are really cool because up until maybe like, and since we're talking about voice acting, till like maybe 10 years ago, it was far more anonymous. Like you could just go to the store and not get, I don't want to say harassed, but like people wouldn't bother you because it was just kind of this unknown part of acting. Like I remember being at a restaurant out by my old place in LA, and I was like walking by and I saw Bob Bergen, who plays Porky Pig, and he was just inside, and I was like, oh my God, it's Bob Bergen, that's cool. And then I just was like, no, be cool, keep walking. So I did. But like that was 10 years ago. But yeah, like honestly, if you have a chance to meet your favorite voice actor or people you really like, they're really cool people because it's such a small community and everybody knows everybody and they're all really cool. Everybody I've met has been really cool. Like side tangent. I met Paige O'Hara from Beauty and the Beast, who is my favorite. That was my first movie I saw at the movie theaters when I was very, very little. And it was cool to see a girl with brown hair, I'm not a natural blonde, sorry guys, saving the day and saving the prince at the end of the movie. And I just thought it was incredible. And it wasn't, 29, 30-year-old me that met her. It was little me that met her. And she was incredible. And she was like, you're so pretty. I love your smile. How are you? And I'm like, hi. So just be cooler than I was, because I wasn't cool. But like, and there's a few really incredible voice actors that are here at this convention.
Yeah.
Go meet them. They're incredible. Go wait in line. Dee is amazing. I went to a webinar of his where he was talking about voiceover techniques, and that's somebody you can learn from. He does everything. He could do my voice better than I could.
Yeah. And I know the Fan Fusion has like a thing on their site where you can request for guests to come here. And I would definitely suggest everyone on there and request for Jason. I just want to call him his last name. Jason Marsden and Bill Farmer to come here because
That'd be cool.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Just hasn't been here
The
yet.
convention has to invite them.
Yeah.
So you guys go request them,
Yeah.
and then they can come. Were we still talking music?
Yeah.
I think we're talking everything.
Yeah. That would be like the
Prince.
ultimate. Yeah, that would be the ultimate like mixture.
Yeah. They're lady.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
I couldn't see. I'm short. I'm sorry.
Nice. Nice.
Incredible. All right, that's it. We can go. Wait, no, please don't leave.
None of us have mentioned like the one on the car that they sing down the river. I had it 5 minutes ago. Nobody else but you.
Don't make me bring up that scene again.
I know, yeah, you brought up the scene.
Yeah, don't make me bring that scene up again.
The car where they're singing,
The car where they're singing on the river song.
That one, yeah. I'd love to see like a staged musical version of that one. And I imagine like you'd like cut the car in half, put it on wheels, and just kind of like have it just keep sliding back and forth on the stage or something with like water effects on it.
Oh, yeah.
I picture it could be a stage musical version.
There's got to be at least like 500 like half cars from productions of Grease.
Yeah.
So you could just like take one of those and reuse it. Yeah. We'll talk afterwards.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I just had
they've done
flashbacks
musicals
to
for
Grease.
Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Frozen. Why not a Goofy movie?
Why not a Goofy movie? Why not? Let's write to them and say, make
There's
a
an-
Goofy
I mean,
movie
like, it's already-
musical for Broadway.
It already is
Come
a musical.
on.
There's already all the songs.
I mean, I've made 2 live action versions of it, to the songs, but honestly, I would not want a live action movie of it. I don't want them to be humans, and I don't know. Speaking from experience.
Oh, yeah.
But a stage version, we're talking.
And oh yeah. Well, that's Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons. What do I got? Let's see. I don't know, we can do random questions and see if you guys know the answers. Or
Yeah. You got some trivia?
I'm trying to find some that might be hard,
Oh,
but
boy.
I guess the first one. He's
Adam might
here
know this one.
today at the convention. He does a voice in Goofy movie. What?
Someone here?
He's here.
As a cat? I was like, no?
Do you know the answer? Does anybody know the answer?
I think Adam does.
Yeah, I just didn't realize I didn't tell him.
Say it at the same time. 1. Yeah, with the mustache. And Adam
Are you
at
supposed
the
to be
same
Bob's
time.
Burger?
Right. So 1,
So
2,
Bob and Adam.
3.
Dante Bosco.
Oh, they did not have the same answer.
Yeah, I don't know who he
what was
voiced,
yours?
but
Okay, who thinks it's Alan Tudyk?
Alan Tudyk?
probably.
Alan does voices and everything.
I think his first thing was, I think he said his first Disney was Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
But
Let's just
don't-
say Alan
but
Tudyk
he
was in
prob-
this
He's
movie.
probably in there somewhere. Like he's in everything.
But he
He
wasn't.
did some ADR for
Yeah.
it. Let's just say
Yeah, he's-
he was in the loop group for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was it, Mike?
What is he?
Dante Bosco was
I don't know who he
in
voiced.
Goofy movie.
I think he was credited like additional voices. So I
We
don't
met
know
him
what
earlier. He was really nice. Go meet him if you can.
Go
That's
meet
all.
him if you can.
What's your next one?
That was my good one. I'm still trying to find better ones. Like,
Do we want to open it up
Yeah,
for
we
like
can open it up.
questions? People
yeah,
can
let's
come up
just
Yeah.
and ask us something.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come up and ask
Or
a
make a
question.
statement
or-
about
Make a
questions or
statement.
Statements or
Do
about
we
Goofy
want to like
movie.
have
more
people
things you
come
love
up?
about
Yeah,
Is
sure.
that
I'll
easier?
just push this out.
Turn it around.
That way, like, if people want to come up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Who wants to be on the podcast? Come on down.
Oh.
Come on down. He can even come stand at the podium so he's on camera.
I ran out.
I will cede my position.
This way the audio picks up better for the podcast.
Yeah.
What do I have to say?
You can just say your name and your question.
Or anything about a Goofy movie.
Whatever you got. Goofy movie, voiceover, voice acting, whatever. Whatever. We're here. We're here for a good time.
What is your, if you guys saw the movie, what would be your favorite part?
Favorite scene, not a favorite song, right?
Favorite scene?
Yeah, there you go.
Favorite scene.
Everyone knows mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love the whole Bigfoot sequence. Like I love the Hi Dad soup and just like that whole claustrophobic trapped in a car situation. Like I think that's a place for some really good growth for the two of them. I like that.
Ooh, okay. I got mine. Mine's going to be very obscure, and for different reasons. It's towards the end of the movie when Max goes to apologize to Roxanne, and her dad comes out, and he's that big, scary guy, and he just goes, and he's growling at him, just because he reminds me of my dad, and my dad hasn't. And like, I was just like, oh yeah, that's an animated version of my dad, just big and scary. So that might be it.
Oh, that's great. You know, I'm a big fan of the Country Bear Jamboree at Walt Disney World, so I'm a little partial to Lester's at Possum Park. 'Cause I think it's such a perfect, yeah, the audience, and this makes such a perfect parody. Plus your awesome live action thing, Ted. I mean, can we give Ted another hand for that awesome? I mean, seriously, I'm not worthy.
I was going to go with Lester's as well, so I'll go with the floating down the car scene. Floating on the river on the car scene.
Awesome. Cool. That was a great question. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Come on down. Do-do-do, do-do-do. I don't have the music queued up.
I was like, is it like
We
The
could,
Price is Right? Come on down.
We could also
So-
restate it in the microphone.
So I actually had a question about voice acting as a profession. I remember, and I know this already makes me older, but I remember during the, 2016, 2017, there was the voice actor strike. And I remember listening to a number of podcasts where they were talking about one of the reasons for the strike was the damage it was causing to actors' voices because of the hours they were working and the hours their contracts were requiring in a day. And so I was wondering if you guys could comment on, like, what is practical, realistic, or safe, and what do you do in your non-working time, or more importantly, what you don't do because of your profession?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
good.
Ooh, that is good. So yeah, great question. My gosh. There has been a lot of that, and thankfully now representation agents and things are like, hey, you're helping us make money, so we should probably like make sure you're okay. So a lot of that now is scheduling things at the end of the week and at the end of your session, a lot of the screaming, and now we get notifications and it's written in the auditions like, this will be vocally strenuous. You go, oh, okay, cool. And that's how you know, like, rest up beforehand, make sure you're warmed up. And now there's more people that are talking and teaching how to do those vocal combat type things and to protect your instrument. I think it's Darcy Smith is a vocal combat instructor who's terrific. I'm just making sure I'm getting the name right. But it's vocal combat, that's who teaches that. But a lot of it now is you're informed ahead of time, and that came from actors who were saying, like, I can't blow out my voice on a Friday and be expected to work, like, Friday morning and be expected to do a commercial on Friday afternoon. There's just no way, and that's how they're losing money in revenue. So a lot of it now is just restructuring things, and I know people like myself, if you're feeling tight, you're feeling whatever, just do a couple days off if you can, and that's really hard when you like to talk. That's really, really hard, but it's doing what you can personally and taking that time off, but then also making sure your team or yourself, if you are representing yourself and advocating for yourself, that you're doing what you need to do. And honestly, if you communicate to the client, like, hey, I have a session 9 a.m. for a commercial, and then I can do your thing at 3 or at 2, and then I can take the weekend off, they're really cool. It's just communication is kind of the key to everything in life, and just communicate with the client, with whoever it is, because they're people too, and they want you to win. They want to see you win. You're helping them, they're helping you. They're helping you get work. You're helping them make lots of money off of your work. So it's kind of goes hand in hand, but there have been so many people fighting for that forever, and it's a very, very real thing. So thank you for bringing that to people's attention, because voice acting is hard. It's hard, and it's a lot of talking, and then sometimes it can hurt sometimes. So thank you for that. That was great. Yes?
Carry through, please, about what to do for voice recovery.
Ooh, do you want to do that one? You're
Yeah.
a musical theater guy.
Yeah, I kind of had a head start transitioning from theater acting to voice acting,
And who
so.
did you do some theater for and some?
Disney. Yeah, I did. I worked on Disney Cruise Line for a while, so I did a bunch of their shows and stuff. So like that's also where I was a big Disney kid. And then on the ship I played Peter Pan. So when I met Dante Bosco, I was like, hey. But bangarang.
You are the pan.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just in terms of recovery and just vocal health in general, it's all that singing stuff. It's just, diaphragm breathing and just a lot of like, don't take shallow breaths. Don't, the basic stuff. They're like, it's ideal if you don't smoke, you stay hydrated. So recovery, there's not much you can do to move that along besides like gargling salt water, stuff like that. But it's really just rest. You see a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm losing my voice, and they're whispering, and that's the worst thing you could possibly do. That's going to just make your recovery time way longer. So it's like you just got to shut up and get like a whiteboard and just do that, because like vocal rest is basically the only like cheat code. That's it.
And sometimes what it's straw phonation can help too, like singing straws and things like that can help too, like do a vocal warm up and a cool down. That's the part that I forgot to do, is the cool down. I'm like, oh, I'm done, I'm going to bed. And it's like, I got to do that. So thank you. I needed to remind myself to do that. Thank you.
She had a question really quick.
Hi.
That's your fine.
I respect that.
Okay, I love like the Beauty and the Beast kind of thing.
Yeah.
The couple and it's such a roar and he's turned out cuddly and sweet. But the other couple I do like, and I
Yeah.
love how they connected. I love how every verse still keeps Roxanne with Max. And I'm so sad that in the second one they didn't continue that.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe if there was a third one, they realized that they had to be adolescents and be kind of, you know, go through that phase and figure out who they were, and maybe they get back together. Maybe they figure it out, and they're like, "Oh, you were here the whole time. I just had to go figure out who I was." I don't know. That could have happened.
Spoilers for a very
All right,
streamlined
if they
movie.
steal my idea for a Goofy movie 3, I'm going to be very upset.
The Goof Awakens.
We have a comment.
So technically speaking, I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but Max and Roxanne actually came back in the new DuckTales show.
What?
2017.
Oh, yeah.
Goofy makes a cameo on the show, and he flips out like a photo album, and Max and Roxanne are in the photos, and one of them is them at prom night. So in that universe, it's implied that they actually did get together and
They stayed together.
It's like I knew. Thank you, because that just restored everybody's faith and a happy ending. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Superior
Feel better.
nerdiness.
Let's see Grandpa Goof. Let's see that.
Grandpa
Goofy as a
Goof.
grandpa.
I
Did
know.
that happen?
We'll need to AI that one.
Oh, no, we will not AI that one. Thank you very much.
What's the name of the documentary?
Yeah, that's. With our last few minutes, we kind of want to point out: keep your ear to the ground.
Ground.
Keep your,
Nose to the grindstone.
no,
ear to the
yeah,
ground.
ear to the ground. Let's see. You figured out how to mirror this one earlier.
There's a documentary that's just finished being shot about a Goofy movie that has a lot of the people involved from the movie in it. So if you came to this and you enjoyed a Goofy movie, you should probably check that out. He's trying to find it for you real quick.
Yeah. So.
And it's
Where does it go? It's called
Not
Just a Goof. And it's a documentary. Like they interview like Kevin Lima. I mean I haven't seen it, but I'm super excited to watch it. But like how the process of it being made and everything, and what impact it has had for people today, and like I've learned like there was an episode of Atlanta that showed the impact
the
that
Goofy
movie
movie.
had in like the small communities in that area for that demographic. So keep your ear out for this one. I think it premiered
on May 4th.
on May 4th. Yeah. So hopefully they'll put it on some streaming platform. But yeah, that's the director of a Goofy movie there. I'm excited to watch this one whenever we get that chance.
Yeah.
Not Just a Goof.
And if anyone didn't have any more questions, we could show Ted's other live action thing.
Just want to make sure there's not.
Yeah,
Does
if
anybody else
there's
have
not any
any
more
others?
questions.
I see Goofy back there.
Goofy has a question.
Yes, I
Or-
do. It's
Ortho-
Goofy's birthday.
Woo!
Yeah.
Is it really?
Goofy's. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Looking like you're 30.
Goofy, made his cartoon debut on the state. Yeah.
Wow. Did you
Yeah.
guys plan this?
No, I was thinking about that when I saw
Yes.
that. I was like, what cool timing.
Yes.
Let's just say yes.
Thank you for bringing that up, Goof.
I think a Goofy movie came out on April 6th, and that's the only date I know.
I didn't even know that date. All right, who's buying birthday shots for Goofy?
I think we've got a question
Yes.
here.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Here
and
and
then
here.
here. Okay.
He may seem intoxicated, he's just highly animated. That's what I got.
He's just
Who's
highly
first?
Who's
animated.
first?
Go her, him.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You and then.
Go ahead.
Everything, yeah, all
The
tape
8-track.
just
The
goes-
tape,
Yeah.
yeah.
It explodes.
We don't
She
have that
she said that her
problem.
favorite scene was them in the car switching the music back and forth on the tape until it back and forth until the tape busted.
Now it'd just be switching Apple Music or Spotify.
I
back
know.
and forth.
Thank you for bringing
Yeah.
that up. Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Adam sing.
That's all Adam.
Adam's
the
gonna
back.
serenade Goofy for his birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday,
dear Goofy. Happy birthday to you.
appreciate it.
No pressure, but just sing
Yeah.
to Goofy, Adam. You work for Disney, sing.
Yeah, and that's probably a good spot to wrap it up for it. So,
Play the song that you guys were playing.
Oh, I thought, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
thank you everyone for coming. AnimationFascination.net, Ted
Thank
Sowards, Adam Malloy, Bonnie Marie Williams, Sanford Clark, and Michael Soren.
And I'm here.
All right.
And I'm Mark Vibert.
Woo!
But, thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Open up your eyes, take a look at me. Get the picture fixed in your memory. I'm driven by the rhythm like the beat of a heart. And I won't stop until I start to stand out. To stand out. Some people settle for the typical thing, living all their lives waiting in the wings. It ain't a question of if, just a matter of time.